and I kind of like turned into like the butterfly, like out of the cocoon. So when I was 17, I got discovered by the Ford agency and had to finish high school.
Your brother suicide, he was 64. So, like, how, why his suicide?
Sure. I love acting because modeling is not hard. I mean, you stand in front of a camera.
Can you please tell to our audience about you? Can you give a brief about your introduction, please?
Sure. So my name is Beth Goodman. I was raised in Charleston, South Carolina, and that's currently where I am. I do live in LA, but I do travel a lot back and forth. Um, I started modeling in 1982. I had just gotten out of high school, so I was 18. So I modeled there, and I also modeled in Paris and Milan, Italy. I didn't really care for modeling too much. You have to have a certain personality or certain, like I tell people, like it's something like you have to be so wanting that type of life because it's hard because there's a lot of rejection, and Beth doesn't like a lot of rejection. So I did it for a few years, got out, and then I went into broadcasting. So I was a radio disc jockey on the radio for well, that makes sense, for a long time, and then I got out of it completely and went into the mortgage world. And about 7 years ago, I got back into modeling and started doing acting, and I actually got a lot of roles. But didn't really satisfy me. So during this time, my brother, who was 64, took his own life in 2021, and it got me on a new path. So now I have co-written a movie about his life, which is my life, right? To take us through when we were young, when he was diagnosed, and from that point on. So it's a very true story. It's very candid. I don't hold back in the movie. I need to send a message with this movie, so I had to be as, I guess, raw and emotional as I could be. So my mission now for my brother, because this is all for him, is to save a life. There was things about my brother that I should have seen days leading up to his suicide, and I didn't, or I ignored him. So there's a lot of guilt, and this is the main thing that people have with suicide is guilt, because it's like, what if I had done this, or if I'd called him then, or if I did whatever. I mean, there's a laundry list of things that you can blame yourself for. Right. So I decided to write this movie, and that's how this all came about.
Okay, we will talk about movie also and the side, but before we start all these things, I just want to know your early life, like when you started model,
How I got into it.
Got it into it, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting story, AJ, because I was very fat as a child, and I was very made fun of, which is another topic I will take on after this, about bullying, which is huge in this world, which then also leads to suicide. So I was bullied, and it was about, I guess, ninth or 10th grade. I had lost a bunch of weight, and I grew, and I kind of like turned into like the butterfly, like out of the cocoon. So when I was 17, I got discovered by the Ford agency, and had to finish high school because they're very strict about that, which is what I wanted to do anyway. And so that took me into the modeling world. So I had a great childhood. I mean, after the bullying stopped, I mean, it was a great childhood. Both my parents are deceased. Actually, today is my mother's first anniversary of her death. And I had just had a great childhood. I grew up in Charleston. I lived on the water. You know, wanted for nothing, thank God. And now it's like I have to give back for that. So
So
that's pretty me in a nutshell.
uh, in your acting career and modeling career, what exactly was you most like, the acting or the
Sure. I love acting
modeling?
because modeling is not hard. I mean, you stand in front of a camera and you pose, and granted you have to have some sort of, projections coming from your face, right? But acting to me is way so much harder because you've got to memorize lines and you've got to project those lines and you've got to be the character and it's a little bit more in depth, and I love it. I do. I love acting, but I'll be honest, I want to be on the other side. So I want to do more of a directing, producing aspect. I'm 61 now. So, limited roles for my age. There are some, but they're not as many. So now I'm kind of like, taking a look at going behind the scenes at this point.
Yeah, I can
So,
understand. Yeah. So
yeah.
you told me your way was different because of your brother suicide. He was 64. So like how why his suicide? What
My,
exactly the reason?
but why did it lead up to that? Kind of, or what? Well, my brother had been diagnosed with bipolar when he was 23 years old. I was 15 at the time. So, when I'm talking about my childhood, those were some dark days. Because my brother, we didn't know what bipolar was back in the late 70s. So he was misdiagnosed, and then they finally got him on the right medication. But between those times, it was a very scary life. My brother tried to take his life 3 times during that period of around 23 when he was 23.
He
So,
was
I had to
he was
deal with
living
that.
with the family, or he was living alone when he
He
died?
was on his own. He
Oh,
was living on his own. He was a stockbroker, had a great career, very smart.
wow.
And then one day he went to someone's house and broke in and told him that he was like an FBI agent. I mean, it was like something out of the movies, right?
Yeah.
And thank God, and how this happened, the people knew my family or knew my brother and called the police, and he ended up going down to the jail, and we had to get him out of jail, and so that's when it all started. It kind of just exploded from that point on. So then my brother lived at home, and when you have a mental illness, it's your brain's broken, right? Obviously there's chemical imbalance, so you find that balance, and it was hard back in those days. So they finally put him on lithium, which is probably a life-saving drug that bipolar, now they call bipolar, people are on. And he did great. I mean, he got a law degree, he got a master's degree, he owned his own furniture company, he owned his own law practice. And then really during COVID, it started to spiral. And, he was isolated and knew things were wrong. And I was, trying to get him off the ledge a lot, just kind of reeling him back in, but never. And this is another message: don't ever think they won't kill themselves, because that's what I did. I said, oh, he doesn't have the guts to do it. My brother would never do that to me. He would never leave me. And he did. So
When
that's a lesson.
when he suicide, did you like he asked you guys for any help or describe something about his mental health, or it was just you know
Yeah. I knew that he was having issues. And I would talk to him, but I would never ever like make him think he was crazy, because you don't do that to people that are bipolar or with any mental illness, because the more you think they're crazy, the more they think they're crazy, and you don't want to do that. So I did see signs, AJ. I did. I was in LA at the time. He wrote me a Facebook note the night he did it. I read it and I told my then husband, this doesn't sound like him. It was very sweet and very, loving. And my brother did, we had the best relationship, but we weren't the lovey-dovey type brother sister, like, I love you, I love you. And it was late, and my husband said, you know what, don't worry, call him in the morning, and that was my mistake because he did it that night. And that's what I have to live with, right? That's what a lot of us live with. So and I called him the next day and I couldn't get him. And I knew in my stomach that there was something wrong. And he shot himself. So.
Okay. So do you have like his when he talked with you last time, left the Facebook notes? Do you have those so we can add here so it can help to the other, so don't.
Yeah, I got it. It's in the movie actually. So I have the actual message. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, it can be add in the,
That'd be great.
podcast anywhere. So you should keep those things. All right.
Okay.
So
yeah, whatever you need.
after that, what exactly happened? Like you said he on that night you didn't answer him and he suicide. So next day, who informed you and how you got to know that it's happening?
Sure. So when I couldn't reach him by text or phone, I called his best friend who lived maybe 10 minutes away. Okay. And I told him, I said, there's something wrong. I said, Harold's not reaching out to me, and he would call me right back. I mean, this was not normal. And so he said, Beth, I'll go right over. So he goes over, and my brother had two automobiles. One's in the garage and one was outside. And he said that both of them were there. So now I'm getting really, really nervous. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe he's riding his bike, or I don't know, maybe his phone's dead, anything I could possibly think to not go to that place. Right. We finally called the police. Kind of immediately when he couldn't get in the house, and they came and they discovered his body upstairs. He had done it in his guest room. And of course, I'm on the phone with my friend when I hear the police say, he's gone. So it was, I don't even know how to explain. It was like such a horrific scream. Yeah. It's like I knew it was going to be bad, but I thought, okay, well, if it is, he's still alive. We can save him, right? Yeah. And so I flew home the next day and had to take care of everything. I mean, and it's in the movie. I mean, it's not a pretty scene, but I got to show it. I got to show what suicide is, and I got to show the ugliness of it. And because we need to understand that people are doing this every day.
Yeah, every day. Right. So he was married, any kids?
No. He was divorced. Thank God he had no children. He did have a cat. Okay. And I know that he had probably planned it a little bit because he put the cat into the kennel and he loved this cat. And then 2 days before, he's like, I hate this cat. I hate this cat. And I'm thinking, but you love this cat. So, I had signs, AJ, but it's like, you don't want to go there. It's like, you don't think about somebody that is that dark and so broken that my brother would actually put a gun to his head. I mean, I could not go there, or I didn't want to go there.
So what's your thought, like why people doing the suicide? Because every day, thousands, millions of people, suicide every month, every day. So what is the main reason, do you think, behind the suicide in our society?
I think that we have stigmatized suicide so much that it is, you are crazy. It's like the homeless people you see talking to themselves, which I see a lot here in Santa Monica, California. They think that people are going to put them away. They don't want to come out to ask for help because we as Americans, and maybe all over the world and maybe in India,
Yeah.
We treat people with mental illness like it's a disease. It is a disease,
Yeah.
but it's a catchable disease, and you just don't want to deal with that. And that's why my brother, didn't say, "Hey, Beth, I can't do this anymore. I want to die," because he didn't want to burden me. And that's another thing with people with that commit suicide. They don't want to be a burden
Right.
to the loved ones. So they feel them not being here is better than being here, which is so far from, as you know, the truth. I would give anything for my brother to still be here. I, I would give myself for my brother to be here. So I think we as a population have to start looking at suicide as any other disease. Okay, whether it's cancer or it's a heart disease,
Right.
it's just the brain. It's the
Brain.
brain is That's it.
I saw in news there was a actually a study uh, said that in a hospital, it was in America, that there was 70% people was just because of the mind illness. Okay, somebody like if have cut in his hand, but he was just in hospital for 2 months for just mental illness. Okay, so I think mental illness is the main reason behind this. And because a normal person, if suppose everything going in a day, he can't do anything. So what I thought, it's long process, like 1 month, 15 days, 10 days. If he have like something in mind, okay, then don't, if he is not sharing to anybody, then he take these kind of decision. If somebody can share, I don't think so it can happen. Is it correct?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, if medication is a miracle for mental illness.
Yeah.
My brother lived 40 years on lithium and did amazing things. So if people would get diagnosed and not be afraid to get diagnosed, because I think that's the other reasons people are afraid. To think, oh, I have a mental illness. I mean, this is the problem. We need to start treating mental illness as any other disease, any other, like
Yeah.
if I have cancer, I'm going to get chemotherapy. I
Uh,
mean, it's so stigmatized, and it's like the movies, they stigmatize it. People just stick. I mean, it doesn't matter, and Hollywood needs to change, because a lot of Hollywood is killing themselves. A lot of Hollywood, and if we need to do stories like my story to give you the warning signs, or to make it seem like it's acceptable to be mentally ill. It's okay
yeah.
if you have to take a pill every day. It's okay,
Yeah.
but
Right.
we can't get there for some reason. Can't.
So
I don't know why. And that's why this is my mission. This is my mission, to be my brother's voice, and all the other victims of suicide, that if they had just told somebody, I need help, I want to die. And I would have jumped on a plane, and I would have been there. I would have done anything to save him. Because let me tell you, they don't just kill themselves, they kill you.
right.
They kill you too.
The
And my
whole
life
family,
will never be the same.
every person who love, right? They kill to everyone
Absolutely.
because they
And
have
this is
their
right.
situation, right?
And this is what this movie is about. Because if somebody is thinking of it, they can see a movie like mine and go, "Oh my God, if I do this, my mother is never going to be the same, or she may take her own life." That's the other thing of suicide. There are people that can't live anymore with this, and they do it themselves. So that's my hope.
So, what other, like you said, you have now the mission for the suicide victims. Okay, so what exactly you are doing? The first thing you said you are doing this movie. Okay, the film. Are you doing any other thing offline, and like meeting with the victims and
Right.
helping them or counseling them, something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was working for the suicide hotline here in LA. But unfortunately, my mother died, and I had to stop doing that because I had to be in Charleston for many reasons. I do want this movie to be made and or a book because I would love to go on the circuit, mental illness circuit, as someone that has is a survivor of suicide, because a lot of people don't talk about it. I mean, there are a lot of people that are survivors of suicide, but they don't want to talk about it. And you know what? I do want to talk about it. So I'm hoping that the movie launches that for me, because it's hard. People don't want to listen. Nobody wants to talk about suicide.
Right.
So that's my hope, is that this will launch me into, talking to teens or talking to even people my brother's age, 64. I mean, look, suicide is not age specific, right? It's all ages. You have 10-year-olds killing themselves.
Yeah. Because of,
It's
yeah, I heard many stories. 10-year also can suicide just because he didn't get the good marks. He is in depression. He was reading a lot. He didn't get the the good numbers. So he's suicide. Yeah. So what?
or bullying, or they're bullied, or, they take a sexual picture, for a
Yes.
girlfriend or a
Right.
boyfriend, and then it gets out to the school,
Right.
and now you think your life is over, right?
Right.
And they do. Then they take their life. So yeah, it's so important, AJ. I don't, I just, unless, what, I guess, if you haven't been through suicide, you don't get it. And maybe that's the problem, you know.
So what exactly the message you want to give to the society on this interview, on this podcast? Uh, what exactly a message you want to give them? So
uh
everyone who's
the
watching.
message, I got a message. It will happen to you one day. You will know somebody. It'll be a friend. It'll be a friend of a friend. It'll be your family members, and you will know somebody that has committed suicide. And I hope that this helps people understand that, yeah, it hasn't touched you yet, but it will. The
how
way we're going, you know.
how a person, like, suppose a person know he have mentally ill, okay, and what message you want to give him to, so he can, like, protect himself, he don't take this kind of move. Do you have something to?
I, you know what I do, and I, I mean, yeah, there. Sometimes we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And there's a saying, it's a permanent fix to a temporary situation, right? And that is such a true statement, because I want to say to these people, it's okay. It's okay to talk about how you feel and that you want to kill yourself. There's nothing wrong with talking about that. No one's going to judge you, right? And that's where we have to get with people in society, that it's okay to let them have a safe space to be able to talk about why they want to die. They don't want to die, but they don't have another way out. And we have to give them a way out. And we need to listen, and we need to ask questions, and we need to not ignore, any flags that come up. There are flags, if somebody's mentally, if they're depressed, they're not eating, they're not, they've not social anymore. I mean, there's so many things that you have to know. When you see those, there's a problem.
Right.
It's not just they woke up today not feeling. There's a problem. There's a problem.
Do you think, like, if a person is not social, he living alone, he don't have, like, friends, he don't talk to anybody on phone, he just live in a house alone, no social life, just mobile phone, he also can think about suicide? Do you think?
Absolutely. And you know what? There are people that have killed themselves, because we don't like to say commit because it sounds like a crime. There are people that have killed themselves that aren't mentally ill. They just financially ruined. Let's say they've lost everything in the stock market. That doesn't mean they're mentally ill when they kill themselves. So, we can't just say it's the mentally ill population. It is people just, hey, I've lost everything. And I know that Stephen Bing, who was a multi-billionaire, jumped out of a 24-story building because he lost everything. Was he mentally ill? I don't know. Don't know. But that was the reason. So maybe he was, who knows? I think there are people that just do it because there's no way out financially, or they hadn't, their marriage dissolved and they just don't want to go on anymore. Is that a mental illness?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, there are many ways. Money is not like the reason behind, if somebody broke, that's not the only reason of suicide. There are many. You're right.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
I also saw like a billionaire dying. He have everything, but I don't know. People don't know why he died. So it's uh,
You don't, and you will never know.
yeah,
That is really the sad part, is that
sad
I
part.
don't know
Right.
what made him do it. Like, what could I not have done to help him? I was his best friend. And that's the question you have to live with for the rest of your life. And I don't want anybody to have to ask that question. I don't. I don't want them to go through what I've gone through, because I'm going to tell you, it is not a pretty picture. And there are days I didn't want to go on. There were days I wanted to lie in my bed forever, because he was my not just my brother, but he was my best friend.
Right.
But I had to do something, and I want to change. I want to change why my brother did this to himself and all the other victims of suicide, because no one else will. No one else will do this, and I will. I will, no matter how hard it is for me, no matter how emotional it is for me. I will save a life for him. I will save a life.
That's good mission, and
Thank,
best of luck for that. And
thank you.
we always wish, and we will here to help you for anything what we can do for you. Okay.
Just, talk to people that you think may need help. Just reach out to people. And that's what we lack, is actually reaching out to people. Now it's more the internet and it's texting. It's like there are people alone. And, I'm different now. I do reach out to people, and I didn't really do that. I've learned a lot from unfortunately this horrible tragedy. But you know what? I I'm going to help somebody, and I'm here. I always want people to, if they have questions, or, I mean, I will go into depth about this, because I have to be as I transparent as I can. Cleaning up your brother's blood and his brains off a wall will change you. And I don't want someone else to have to do that.
Okay, so we were talking about suicide,
Right.
right? So,
So, and until society gets on board
mhm.
with trying to I don't think we'll ever stop suicide. I mean, I wish I could say that. I wish that we could abolish it like cancer, right, and get rid of it. It will never be. But you may be able to save somebody, right? That's what this is about. If you know somebody, you could save their life. And that's really just what the message is that, I there's so many things that I thought, I should have done that I didn't do. And it's like it's like it doesn't ever go away, right? I mean, it's like suicide. If my brother had been like in a car accident, or if my brother had died of a heart attack,
Mhm.
it would be horrifying, but yet I wouldn't have to question myself about, why did I let him in the car? But suicide, it's always going to be left on the survivors to try to figure out why I didn't do anything. And if I had just called that night, would I have saved him for
Wow,
my situation, right?
right.
People say he would have done it the next night, Beth. And maybe he would have. But you know what? I could have at least saved him that night, and maybe not have had him commit it and do it. You know, I don't know. That's the problem. I will live the rest of my life
So,
without knowing.
you know, after this film, what do you think? What changes you can make in the world?
I'm hoping the film will open up for more films and more, I guess, attention to suicide, except on, the news or TMZ or, Robin Williams commits suicide. That's a blurb and it's a celebrity. Most people aren't celebrities that do this, right?
Right.
There's no attention given on the normal everyday people like my brother. So that's what I'm trying to change. It's like, let's do something. We have people that have so many resources, so much money that can help in the suicide mission to just, I don't know, make commercials about it, make more movies about it, make it acceptable, make it okay that you have a mental illness.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. Just accept it. Acceptable. And not feel like they're crazy, talking to themselves in the street.
I ever I never saw any kind of movie like this which give the message about the suicide. Maybe
Yeah.
there are, but no big movie, big budget film I never saw. So yeah, best of luck for your
Thank
film
you.
and the message you want to give to the world.
Well, I
So
appreciate you giving me the platform to talk about it because not many people do. And that's what's so sad. It's like, it's just nobody's like, let's just talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it.
yeah,
And you have given me that.
we can do one thing. We can put we can make a link also for like if anybody, a person who will watch this episode, they if they want to donate for the film something, they can do. We can together we can make it will come to you directly. Okay,
That's awesome.
right?
I
Because
think, yeah, that I'm kind of on my funding tour. I'm doing a press tour here, and I'm going to be on all the TV stations. Because it's more expensive to make this film than I thought. But I will do whatever I got to do to get the funds. I mean, I'm not going to ever stop
yeah,
until I do it. So any donation, anything would help this cause.
yeah, I can see in your words and in your eyes that you are passionate about this mission, okay? And you should do this, which you're very best.
Thank
Before
you.
we go ahead and talk about other thing, one
Sure.
thing I just want to know, do you do any kind of suicide awareness on social media also?
I about this particular subject.
Yeah.
You know what? I do some stuff. I don't really do a lot because I don't seem to get the reactions that I need to get. Um, even on social media, people like, oh, Beth, I'm sorry about your brother. And then they go on with their day. It's like, I need people to want to get involved. And if that is helping with funding this movie,
Yeah.
you know what, it will give them a sense of, what, I did something. Maybe I will help her save a life or two or three. I don't care. One's enough, but maybe people will think, what, this is something that needs to be done because tomorrow could be their son
Yeah.
or their brother. It doesn't discriminate, right?
Mm.
Doesn't discriminate.
But
You have 10-year-olds and 80-year-olds killing themselves, so it doesn't discriminate.
let me tell you one thing. Me and my team, we promise you, if you need any help about the marketing of your journey, okay, we can help you, and we suggest you to make some group on uh, or internet, okay, on social media, add people who are interested there, post regularly about the film, about people, your
Sure.
thoughts and the
Sure.
lives, the videos, okay, these kind of thing that will be very helpful your mission, okay. So if you
I
need
do.
any help about this, feel free to reach us, okay. We help you. without any, cost or anything. Okay.
Well, I appreciate you a lot, and you're in a country. I don't know the suicide rate in India. I don't know the percentage, but I would assume that you do have
Yeah.
suicide in India. It's everywhere, right? It's not
Every,
just America,
everywhere, right?
everywhere. So
And it can't stop, as you told, you said.
no,
Maybe,
and
yeah.
yeah. So I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate you giving me the voice, not just for my brother, but for all the victims of suicide.
So I was asking you, my question was, have you been in India?
I have never been to India. I
Oh,
would love to come to India.
you must visit.
Gosh, what city are you in?
I am in New Delhi,
New Delhi.
capital. Yeah.
Nice,
You
nice.
you should come here. It's beautiful country, and
If the movie gets made, I will have a
come here
showing.
for promotion. Okay.
I will. I will come. I will have the movie come there because let me tell you, it isn't just America's problem.
It's world.
It's everybody's
Yeah,
problem,
everybody.
you
Right.
know, and so I just need people on my train, right? That are on the ride
Right.
to like you in your country, somebody else in their country, and it's not just my problem, it's everybody's problem.
Everybody, bro.
Everybody's problem.
Everybody should give their, time or value or anything in your mission. I will also request to everyone who will watch this video, whenever they will watch, today or after 10 year or 50 year, because it will be on the internet. So whenever
Yep.
anybody watch, please help in her journey. Anybody doing this kind of mission, please help them. It's a big issue in the world.
It is. And I don't know how much more victims there have to be before this is it's an epidemic. I mean, already this year, in 6 months of this year, have been almost 500,000 suicides in the world. In the world, almost half a million, over half a million
Yeah.
of people that are healthy otherwise, but they just have a little issue and
You,
their lives are gone. And
these
that number will increase.
these are the government data which is publicly available, but there are many people who even not in data,
Right.
right?
Right.
They are
Mm-hmm.
not coming in data. So it's more than millions. Okay.
Oh, and that's just the ones they know, right? And also, just for everybody, men are more apt to commit or kill themselves than women, by the way. So it is more of a male issue than it is a female, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, so I
Why
think
is that?
70% of men, the 70% are men of
Why
that.
is that?
I think there's a lot of responsibility on men, right? Like I was talking about financial issues,
Uh,
that kind of thing. I think that has a lot to do with it. And then I think it's just men that don't get diagnosed and they are bipolar or whatever. And they don't seek help because once again, it's a stigma
yeah.
and they just think I'll don't want to burden my family. I'm just going to take myself out. And then they'll get the insurance money or they'll do this. And I think that's their thinking is it's better without me than with me. And that's how my brother was. It was better with him out of my life than helping him stay alive.
Yeah, I am sad, more sad about the person who they left behind, the family, the brother, the sister,
Right.
everyone, right? So the main thing is after suicide and all, okay, that's the main thing. Like I can see you left everything, your career, like acting, everything just for this mission. That's the big number, okay?
Right.
Big number.
And I would give anything for my brother to be here. My brother was a great person. He was funny and he was sweet, and I'm left with this. I'm left every day. I can't pick up the phone to call him, to talk to him. I mean, my whole family's gone now. My mother passed last year, and my brother was my only sibling, and I'm alone now. And this didn't have to happen. Did not have to happen. And this is why it's so important for people to understand that it could happen to you. Don't think and fool yourself that it won't, because it will. You'll know somebody. And then you're going to be like, oh shit, why didn't I do something? And now they're going to live their life like I'm living mine. And I want to try to stop that if I can. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't be sad. But yeah, I can
I know.
understand, the person who you love you never, uh, you know, always whenever you think or talk about, you will get the drops in eyes. I know, but you should need to be strong. When you will be strong, then you can do better in this mission. You can save more lives to give
That's
uh,
right.
the value to the this society. Okay, and
That's
that,
what keeps going.
yeah, that will be the best tribute to your brother.
And he deserves it.
Yeah, he
He's not
deserves.
just a number. He's not a number. He
Yeah,
was a person. He
yeah,
was an important person to this family. So, these aren't just numbers. These are human beings that had people that love them, and we need to treat them that way.
right.
Thank you.
So, are you in LA right now?
No, I'm in Charleston right now because I'm doing this press tour thing.
Oh,
So I've got some TV shows I'm doing. So I'll be back in LA on the 12th.
oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
your main resident in LA, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah. Yeah. For right now, for sure. Yeah.
so like you were full-time actor now, full-time dedicated.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. This has really kept me busy, trying to get this, bringing in the directors and, now I'm in the funding stage and, it's a lot because, if this was like a horror film, I'd have had the money a long time ago,
Yeah,
right? If it was a rom-com, I would have had the money a long time ago, but it's about suicide. And it's like, whoo, that's a tough one, right?
I can
So
understand.
it's hard. And so all of my time is just doing TV interviews, doing your show, doing anything that will help me, get where I need to get in order to make this very important film. You
I
know.
wish you get funding as soon as possible and start moving on this film. Okay.
Thank, thank you.
I will also promote that when it will be ready. Okay. I will promote
I
here.
will come to New Delhi. I promise you. I want you to show me around and I want to experience everything I can about India. But I will promise you, AJ, if this movie gets done, I will do a premiere in India.
It will be done. Okay. Don't worry.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I
I
will
appreciate you.
request to every producer, investor who is watching this video, please help her to get this done. And it's a really hot topic. As a digital marketer, I can say that because I see the keywords and all. Okay, so it's a hot topic. So investors, you can get good money if you are investing, and you can help her with this topic, with this film. Okay, because she's making with this with emotions. Okay, when something will be made by emotions, that will be super duper hit and give the value to the society, message to the society. So
Right.
everyone, please help her. If we get a donation link, we will put in the description of this video. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we talk about suicide. Now let's talk about. I saw on your profile you are paranormal
Paranormal. Yep. Yep.
investigator. What is that? I
So basically, what a paranormal investigator does is we go into haunted locations,
uh-huh.
and we usually go to them as an investigator because if there's spirits that are still left in a location, a house, a hospital, whatever,
Okay.
they're there because they can't pass for some reason. They can't pass through. So what we do is we try to bring them out and try to talk and find out why they can't move on. So it's a good thing because we try to help, but then it can be a scary thing too because I've had some scary situations because there are some spirits that aren't very nice. The majority of them are, but there are some that aren't, and it can get a little wild. I'm actually going to Ireland in September to we're doing a documentary on all of the haunted places in Ireland,
Right.
which will be amazing. So I'm just fascinated by it. I'm just fascinated that I was a skeptic for a long time, and I can just tell you I'm not anymore.
So, like, how do you talk with the spirit? Like, it's kind of
Yeah. So we have equipment. We have certain equipments. We have EVPs. We have radio frequency typed equipment that we use that bring in their voice. I actually went to one place, and my mother and my brother came through. This was about 7 months ago, which was really wild, and it it was a little freaky, but I loved it. But yes, we do have equipment and we also have like infrared, so that we can see things that we wouldn't see with the normal eye. It's fascinating. It's very, very fascinating.
wow. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw some people like holding a device like this, and
yeah. It's I can't remember the name, but it's a something rod. And people, we don't really use that. I don't know. I'm kind of skeptic about it because I think sometimes you can move it.
yes,
So I'm the skeptic in the group. So I don't like using that. I do like to use
the
really
frequency, the
equipment
science.
that
You use science.
exactly. That isn't scientific, these
Right.
broad things. But you do some people use them. Some people
Yeah,
use them.
I saw in some of videos. So, what
Yeah.
was like when very first time you did any kind of investigation? You were scared about like because in haunted house you have to go in the dark and
Oh yeah. My first one was a castle in Vermont, and it, the attic was very active. I can tell you that the attic was very active. There was a very evil spirit that was up there that we found out that he was a serial killer, and we found proof that he had said names to us through our equipment of women that he had killed, and we went and looked them up, and it was their name. So we do have spirits like that, and they are not happy when we're there. So yeah, so he was a very, very shadowy figure. So that was my first experience, and I'm like, I could have just gradually gotten into this, but I mean, I went full tilt into it, and it's very scary because yes, it is completely dark. I mean, I don't know how many times I had to cling on to somebody because I was like, it's petrifying. I mean, it's exactly what you see in movies,
yeah.
that kind of thing. But I'm going to tell you, I've learned a lot doing this, to respect spirits and respect the dead, right? A lot of places are Native American, that are locations. A lot of Native American spirits there, for reasons that most people know, is we took their land, right? And they ain't real happy about it. So we do have a lot of Native American spirits that we find across the country, which is interesting.
Wow.
So
Uh,
yeah, it's interesting.
uh, in an episode, I talked with a guy, Byron Lacey. You can see the episode on
Oh,
my
neat.
channel as well. He was alien abductee. Okay.
Really?
So he said, I did a whole podcast about this, okay, about aliens and all. So he said, alien came in midnight and he showed me some marks also. He had picture proofs. So before
Neat.
talking with him, I was just thinking maybe, he, because I don't trust these kind of things. But
No, no, and I get it.
after talking with him, like after talking to you, I got some, these kind of
Right?
thing as a signs in spirit. So I was convinced by him, and yeah, this kind of thing
Amazing.
happened on. It's on Wikipedia also. Okay.
Wow. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, my dad was in the 50s. My dad was in the army and swore he saw a UFO. And my father was as sane. He was a broadcaster. He was on national television. I mean, my dad, I believe. And if we don't believe that we're the only ones in this world, we're sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I cannot believe we're the only signs of life in the whole universe. It's crazy, crazy.
Yeah, we should, uh, believe.
I, you know, I, I know a lot of skeptics. A lot of my friends are skeptics, and they're like, Beth, I think you're a demon worshiper, or I think you're this, and I'm like, you know what? And that's okay. I'm not here to make you believe.
Right.
I'm just here to tell you my experience. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you see a UFO, I appreciate that story. But you know what? I'll believe it or I won't. But you're not trying to convince me, right? You
Have you ever seen Cost?
have I ever seen a ghost?
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
We've actually done video, and we went to this. It was a school. It was a abandoned school, and we had taken pictures. And one of the pictures, there was a girl with long black hair that was one of the ghosts in the pictures. And I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was very free. I'll get that picture for you, but it's very, you may not see it while you're there,
yeah.
right? But you'll see it after your videos and pictures, and you're like, wow. So it's fun. It's fun.
Okay.
It's fun. One day you'll have to go on a tour with us. We'll come to India and do a tour. I think we're going to Thailand next year.
Yeah, we have like some famous YouTube channels of the investigators who do. He
We'll have
go.
to come to you then, either before the movie. If the movie, I'll do this. If the movie's not out soon, we'll come do some investigations in India. I think that would be awesome.
It was fun today talking with you.
You too. You too.